Hey guys, it should be Tuesday. We did just have Labor Day. If you look ahead a little bit, we will have 9/11 at the end of the week, so we will be doing some, or I guess I'll use the same metaphor before, breaking convention a little bit to do some optional or extra credit assignments on that stuff. So, but I hope you enjoyed the long weekend. I hope everybody's safe and fine and ready to start week 3. By midweek next week, I should have grades in for the progress reports. I have been getting online. Some of you probably have gotten feedback and some grades online. I'm working through it a lot. Uh, I promise. So I will get it done in time for progress report. So make sure you're checking things, seeing my comments and everything else. So sorry that I've been slow to it. I will get to it, I promise. And I'm also, another note, trying to keep everything, I guess you could say, linked up for this class online and with my in-house kids. Now I have smaller classrooms in-house, so I've been getting behind because I probably call on every one of my kids for questions or to discuss things or whatever they think. So we are a little bit behind, but I'm trying to keep you guys on track. So I'm going to break this up a little bit. Not sure if that's good or bad, but you will have shorter videos and I don't know. I haven't gotten anything that said that we're going too fast or going too slow. So with those things, at the end of each assignment, I said the question or message to teacher. If things are going too slow, too fast, too this or that, like just give me feedback because then I can help work on it for you. If you don't let me know, I can't fix anything for you. So please give me feedback. Things are like right along. You're like, this is just enough, or it's boring. Can we move faster? Can we go over, whatever else? Or this is just, too fast. I can't keep up. Like, you just got to let me know that stuff. But anyway, to start for the last section on natural resources, we're going to look at the bell ringer. So you guys did do one on alternative energy fuel sources, and you did a great job, and many people commented on other people's posts, and that was awesome. So keep that up. Now for today, what you're going to comment is, what are several natural resources that Pennsylvania has? So go on, give me a list, give me a comprehensive list, what you know off the top of your head. That's what I love, not like you searching and going online. I want to know what's on the top of your head. The other part 2 of this in your comments, you should put Pennsylvania's capital. And I know, like, we've been going over this 1,000 times, sorry, but I just want you to memorize it because we're never going to touch on this like ever again, really. We're going to just move on to history, 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 and so on. What are the 5 geographic regions? And what are the 3 major river systems? So, no, that's a lot. Comment on it, and I'll comment back to you. Okay? Thanks for working with me. Now for today, because I said I'm going to break things up, we're going to look at some of the natural resources and some of the impacts, and then tomorrow we'll finish this up looking at some more natural resources and more of the impacts. And I believe I'm also going to try to find you like, I think it's like a 25-minute documentary, and I'll have you guys read that. And it's pretty much about fracking. It's super cool. I don't think you're not going to like it because it's absolutely insane. It basically follows the industry fracking and how it's doing harm to like the environment and like people's water. And the one famous scene, the guy like turns on a sink and he puts his like lighter up to it and you can like smell it and it just catches on fire and you're like, water's not supposed to do that. So it is interesting. I hope, and I never want to try to waste your time. So like at the end of it, like let's say we watch it and you're like, this was awful. Like let me know that, and then unfortunately for you, like it is what it is. But next year I can try to find something better, or disclude that and be like, no, it's not a hit. So always, always, always give me feedback so I can make the class better and better, or I guess more doable for you guys, whatever it is. But let's get on to the content, guys. Now, maybe we should start by just looking at the words in general. What is a resource? Well, a resource is just something used to create something else. That can be our technical definition. So now when we say natural resources, well, what do we use from nature to create something else? I gave a couple examples in this point, just being, waterways, forests, soil, landforms, fossil fuels, minerals, and what your book says, people. Like we, I guess, are natural resources. I thought that was interesting, and it's not something I really ever thought of before. Now, as I said previously, when William Penn is first arriving, Pennsylvania is covered in an estimated 90% or 98% of forest. Now, it's still today over half, right? And this is hundreds of years later. Most of the trees being in the Allegheny region and in the northern counties, some of these counties, it's 80 to 90% forest still. So we still have plenty of resources in that sense, at least with timber. Now, for us locally, when I think of timber, there are the Williamsport millionaires, and that was like the old pun, like they made a millionaire or they made millions off of their timber, but that's pretty much what they were known for. Now, all these forests that we have, especially up north, um, they're used for various goods, whether it's furniture, paper, home construction, during the world wars, and pretty much all of our wars, like building boats and other materials. That's what a resource is. Remember, using something to create something. Um, we also have a ton of state parks, 114 state parks and one national park. Now, I did pose this question, and I usually don't put a cue. I usually just talk to my class in person, but this is something that I would have stopped and paused class and been like, why do we even need these? Who cares? Forget these trees. Like, can I just get a Walmart or something, or a strip mall, or, outlets? I want $30 Nike shoes. That'd be cool. Um, well, why do we keep all these? What's the benefit? Can we cut down some of them or all of them? What's the balance? But usually students would say, for hunting or for wildlife habitat. And one other point that students make is that we get oxygen from them. Like that is our air. That's how we survive. And that's a good point, right? Well, because my students would always give me good answers and be so smart, it always allowed me to add more to my lessons. And I would find out by myself that 7 or 8 trees produce enough for a human a year. So 7 or 8 trees, that's good for me all year. So why can't we cut down more, or, whatever else? But maybe, maybe not. You guys have to figure out whatever the balance is. About 1/3 of the Earth's oxygen is produced by trees, and that's mostly in giant rainforests, like you can think of the Amazon and stuff. But most, and I do get 1 or 3 students every year that actually know this, most of our oxygen does not come from trees. It's about 72, or even some high estimates as high as 80% are actually produced from marine plants like algae. So I thought that was interesting and kind of like a misconception of what we think of trees. And in the short time I was reading about trees, I even found out that they actually heat the earth a little bit. That they produce these chemicals to kind of protect themselves, and they do warm the planet. They don't so much cool the planet like we would think. So this was just kind of like to argue with some students, like we need it for this, and I would be like, oh, but really, how about this? They heat the earth and whatever. And if you want to learn more about how trees and plants protect themselves, there's actually a horror movie on it called The Happening, and it's all about plants and trees protecting themselves. Very weird, and I kind of spoiled it for you. But let's take a look quickly at some of our natural resources. So 1/3 of PA is used for some kind of farming. And keep this in mind throughout our history when we're talking about, for instance, the early industrial era, the world wars, everything. We are just like not just a national producer of manufactured goods and things like oil, iron, steel, coal, but like an international one, a global producer. They're shipping our goods all across the planet. But at that same time, we have been, and we've never like not been an agricultural giant, a farming giant. We've always been, in addition to all those other resources that have been manufactured. If you remember from our first section, most of this is done in the Piedmont region. Remember, a lot of the other ones, like the plateaus, the ridges, the valleys, the mountains, whatever, that's not always the best for farming. It's not like we don't have farms there, right? You guys know this. Go to Irish Valley, anywhere else. But the best soil is in this region, in lower Pennsylvania. Now, in addition to that, our state has large deposits of resources that are pumped or mined from the earth. These resources include coal, natural gas, and petroleum. When we think of petroleum, just think of oil, gas, kerosene, lubricants. Petroleum's like refined and basically changed into these things. So I don't want to like confuse you when I say petroleum. Now, how fossil fuels work, and most of the time students know this, it's just basically the remains of plants or animals, maybe people, but probably not, from millions of years ago that are under the Earth's crust. After time and a decomposition, there's pressure and these things. Let's say it was a dinosaur, it would become a liquid or even a gas, and then we can actually use that to create energy, whether it's gasoline or whatever else. Now, about 1/3 of Pennsylvania has coal deposits, and this includes hard coal or anthracite coal, that should sound familiar, or soft coal, bituminous coal. The anthracite coal typically burns slower, and there's less pollution. It's typically used to heat homes and buildings, and it's located on the east side, so like where we are. And I'm going to show you all the counties for that. Now, the other coal, soft coal, it burns quicker, it burns hotter, and that's like what they would use to refine things like, let's say, iron. You're going to use this coal out near Pittsburgh to really, really heat up the iron and make steel. But here, this might go in a coal stove and burn slow and be used to heat your home. Now, interestingly enough, today PA is the 4th largest coal producer in the U.S. The ones beating us, Wyoming, West Virginia, Kentucky, but we are number 4. But we are number 1 in anthracite coal. So there you go. Just in case you forgot, these were the 5 geographic areas. And you get a lot of anthracite coal in this area. And then you'd get bituminous coal like kind of like all over, but most of it used in this area where they would make tons of steel. Now, this isn't a great image. It's kind of actually awful, but this would be an example of anthracite coal, which most of you guys see all the time. It's shinier, and this is the stuff that burns a lot quicker. In PA, these would be the anthracite coal counties. So probably something you should remember. I think I asked you for like bonus points at some point, like name 3 counties or something for a bonus point, or as many counties as you can for the anthracite coal region. So you say Lackawanna, Luzerne if you can't read this, Carbon, Schuylkill, Columbia, Northumberland, and Dauphin. Now if we're talking soft coal, like it's kind of like all over, and I'm going to show you maps of this stuff later. Remember, the farming regions are down here. Mostly, it's everywhere, right? It's more ambiguous. Most of our forests are also like up in this area as well. Some of these counties being like 90% forest. Absolutely insane. Now that is all I have for you for today in this video. Remember, I did want to split it up. We'll continue on Pennsylvania's natural resources, and I will give you some review questions tomorrow. Then I will definitely see about getting you to watch that documentary basically on fracking. Something that goes on all around us locally, and you have to say, is it bad? Is it good? Is it complicated? Should we limit it? Should we regulate it? How much should be done? Where should it be done? And all that good stuff. It impacts you. Like, we don't have history and social studies just like for funsies, right? It's not just to tell stories. It's for you to learn about the world around you and how can you make it better or worse, and whether you like it or not, whether you pay attention or not, like it impacts you. It impacts you every day, whether it is your water or, anything else. So it will be interesting. It should be interesting. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything interesting that or you've seen or anything else, please put it in the stream, and that'd be awesome. Now, I won't give you credit for it since I'm not, I guess, compelling you to do it for today, but you're welcome to comment at any time, and I'd love that. I'll always comment back, and you're welcome to comment on each other's things. So that's all I have for you today. Enjoy it. Have a good one, and tomorrow we'll finish this stuff up. See you guys. Be safe.